Colazzo says her son rejected the girl with an unkind comment, but then the girl's mother stepped in and allegedly kidnapped the boy, demanding an apology.
Grabbed him by the arm and said he was going with her to apologize to her daughter, and she put him in her vehicle and took him to her home and sat him on her couch.
Colazzo says her son was threatened and forced to apologize to the girl before being released.
And they basically opened their door and told him to get the F out, and he ran all the way home.
In a crazy situation, a mother of a child decides to kidnap her suspected child's bully. But the other mother are saying that he wasn't a bully at all. So let's get over into it. We got a few videos to look at, and then of course we'll go over to the AI breakdown just to get a little bit more information about this whole case.
Thanks for watching 2 News at 6 tonight. A mother is now accused of kidnapping and threatening an 11-year-old for bullying one of her children.
Yeah, tonight 2 News is looking into these charges and what the mother claims actually happened. Leslie Duarte has more tonight.
Yeah, Mark, Heidi, I spoke to her off camera, and Shannon Tafuga is facing some serious charges, but she says there's more to that story. These court documents state Shannon Tafuga is facing second-degree child kidnapping and aggravated child abuse charges. According to the documents, Tafuga stopped an 11-year-old boy on his bike to confront him for bullying her kids. Nate Krepis with the Disability Law Center says they do not condone this behavior she is accused of.
Obviously, that is not the way to respond. I mean, I don't think anyone should take that level of action on their own.
The documents allege Tafuga made the child get in her car and took him to her house to apologize to her kids, threatened him, and drove him home. Off camera, Tafuga told 2 News that the child has a history of bullying her children, some with disabilities. Her attorney sent us this statement that in part said they deny the allegations made, they believe these allegations stem from a troubled child and are not accurate, and that they look forward to presenting the evidence regarding the repeat challenges Tafuga's children have faced. Who does the responsibility fall on?
If a school is aware of bullying on the basis of disability, they have an obligation to do something about it.
What if the bullying happened outside of the school?
I mean, obviously, I think it depends on what it is. Again, I think if it is something that rises to the level of, some type of crime or something, I think obviously you could talk to law enforcement.
I walked into the Provo City School District to ask them about this. They sent me this statement. Due to student privacy laws, Provo City School District is unable to discuss discipline or behavioral records related to any individual student, and added they cannot comment on an ongoing legal investigation. I also reached out to Provo City Police Department. They told me Tafuga was a city employee, and because of that, Orem Police Department is conducting the investigation to avoid conflict of interest. They also told me that she was a crossing guard at the time of the allegations, but is no longer a city employee.
Fired. Now, it's a tricky situation. First things first. We gotta say how it is. If the child is getting bullied at school, the school needs to do something about it. If they don't, then I can understand the parent getting involved and talking to the school. But there's a difference between getting involved and talking to the school than grabbing a kid, putting him in your car, and then taking him to your house where you basically holding him against his will. That's a clear sign of kidnapping. I don't know how she's going to get around that, but talk to the school. And the school, yes, they need to be aware of when bullying stuff like this happens, or any kind of bullying case. And they need to take actions immediately to stop it. Because terrible things happen when kids get pushed too far and they make stupid choices. But let's go over into this next video and see what else we can find out about this whole case. Let's jump into it.
Right now, a Provo mother is facing kidnapping charges after forcing a boy to apologize to her daughter for alleged bullying.
But now that boy's mother is speaking out. News specialist Garna Mejia has the latest from Provo. Garna, what's going on?
Yeah, well, the boy's mother says this has been a problem for over a year, alleging it was the girl who was harassing her son. Now, usually prosecutors tell us you'd expect parents to make situations better, but in this case, they allege the girl's mom took a bad situation and made it worse.
The last 2 years, she's been bothering my son.
Amberly Colazzo says a girl had a crush on her 11-year-old son, but it went too far.
One day, he got fed up with the fact that she just doesn't leave him alone.
Colazzo says her son rejected the girl with an unkind comment, but then the girl's mother stepped in and allegedly kidnapped the boy, demanding an apology.
Grabbed him by the arm and said he was going with her to apologize to her daughter, and she put him in her vehicle and took him to her home and sat him on her couch.
Colazzo says her son was threatened and forced to apologize to the girl before being released.
And they basically opened their door and told him to get the F out, and he ran all the way home.
The September 2025 incident has led to serious child abuse and kidnapping charges for the girl's mother, 40-year-old Shannon Marie Tafuga.
Even if
So they didn't even drop him back off. We'll have to confirm that with the AI breakdown, but that is, yeah, you got to be charged.
your child's being bullied, the law doesn't give you permission to kidnap that child.
Tonight, Tafuga's attorney released this statement saying, in part, they respectfully deny the allegations, describing their filing as a symptom of our society's failings, where children were once held accountable by their own parents. But Colazzo says Tafuga escalated the incident.
Had she come knock on my door like an adult and said, hey, our kids are having issues, can we speak? I would have gladly let her in and we could have handled the situation, but not once did she ever try. I've never met this woman.
And well, Tafuga police tell us that she was actually working as a school crossing guard when the incident happened. Provo police say she is no longer employed with them. Now, prosecutors tell me that in reference to those charges, they've been lowered to second-degree felonies, which means that they carry a potential punishment of 1 to 15 years in prison. In Provo, I'm Garna Mejia.
That's still too much time to be spending away from your kids. All this because you suspected some bullying. We don't know the situation. He could have been bullying her. He could have just said a mean word to her because he was trying to get her away from him. We don't know the exact situation. But even though you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot grab a kid and take them to your home against their will. I feel like that's obvious. But let's go over until we got one more video to get into just to see if they tell us any more details about this.
News tonight, taking matters into their own hands. We have an update to a story that we brought you last night. We told you a Provo mother is charged with kidnapping after police say she took her child's bully to her house and threatened to beat the 11-year-old boy.
Well, tonight we're hearing from the mother of that boy, and she says there's two sides to the story, and now she wants to tell hers.
He could barely speak. He was so scared. He didn't even go back for his bike because he couldn't handle it.
Well, you just heard from Amberly Colazzo. She says Shannon Tafuga's daughter was terrorizing her son over the course of a few years. So she said as a response, her son called the girl an insulting name, something Amberly says she does not approve of. Well, that's when police documents say Shannon Tafuga got involved herself, allegedly kidnapping the boy to make him apologize to her daughter. Amberly claims Shannon doesn't feel bad about what happened, and because of this, she now wants justice.
It makes me sad for anybody's mother to go away, because every parent needs their mom. So I was like, I don't want to see that. But then after hearing how she was kind of not remorseful and not really caring and basically said she should have ran him over, I was like, well, honestly, I hope that she gets whatever she deserves because this is wrong and my son's traumatized.
So that's Amberly's side of things. Pushing back, though, Shannon's lawyers deny those allegations. They say Shannon's charges are a symptom of society's failure to keep children accountable to their parents. Shannon Tafuga is not in police custody, but is expected to be at future court dates. We'll keep you posted on that.
Wow. Absolutely crazy situation, y'all. Let's go over into the AI breakdown just to get a little bit more information about this whole case. What are your thoughts? Who are you siding with? At the end of the day, I don't know who was being bullied. I don't know if one was harassing another. But I do know for a fact, no matter what the case is, you cannot kidnap a child. Now, some people might say that might not even be considered kidnapping, but if someone told my son to come with them or else, or they're gonna beat him up. That sounds like kidnapping to me, parent or not. Let's go over into this AI breakdown just to get a little bit more information. So, as we know, 40-year-old Utah mom Shannon was recently charged with second-degree felony kidnapping and second-degree felony aggravated child abuse. So, this situation happened on September 17th, 2025. So, the mother reportedly drove around her neighborhood looking for the boy. When she spotted him on his bike, she blocked his path and made him get into the vehicle. She drove him to the home without his parents' knowledge or permission, where she forced him to apologize to her child. After the apology, she allegedly threatened to have her husband beat up the boy and told him he was lucky she hadn't run over his bike. The boy was eventually returned to his home later that day. So they were formally filed charges on Monday, March 23rd. She was a crossing guard at the time of the incident, but is no longer employed. Yet she lost her job. The investigation caused the 11-year-old serious emotional distress, resulting in high anxiety and significant changes to his daily routine. The attorney for the mother denied the allegations, claiming that the charges stem from a troubled child, and highlighted the elementary school's ongoing issue with bullying. At the end, yes or no, did you force this kid to go to your home without his parents' permission? I think that's as simple as that. That tells me if you are guilty or not right there. So she remains out of custody and is scheduled to have a hearing on April 30th. So the 11-year-old boy's mother, as we know, stated that her son had reached a breaking point after being harassed by the daughter. And they said he had spoken, if she would have spoken her parent to parent rather than kidnapping her son, everything would have happened. 100%. I am in agreement with the parts of the boy's mother that said that, yes, have a conversation with them. Don't just grab my son and take him to your house. You could have been a predator. We got to be honest about it. We live in that type of world. But we'll have to find out if he was bullying her or she was just harassing him because she liked him. But that doesn't change the charges that the mother needs to get. Simple as that. It sounds like kidnapping to me, if he was bullying or if he wasn't. But let me know your thoughts on that situation, y'all. Let me know how you feel about it.